The beers that we're making today are based on some information preserved on cuneiform tablets from a particular city called Girsu in ancient Mesopotamia. Those date to something like 2400 BC. So we were going to make a golden beer and a dark beer. The thing that they have in common is they both have malted barley in them, and then this ingredient called bapir, which is a little more uncertain. The way we're interpreting it is that it's like a dried out sourdough starter.
I mean, from a brewing perspective, this is really exciting because from those cuneiform tablets, we have an idea of exactly the ratio of the different ingredients and how much liquid they procured from it. With a little bit of that information, we can actually work backwards to a recipe that we're feeling pretty confident about.
The golden beer has emmer wheat in it, which the dark one doesn't have. And the dark one has this other ingredient called titab in Sumerian. And that's an uncertain ingredient, but maybe some kind of roasted malted barley. And so we are simulating that by taking some already malted barley and smoking it. We're going to try to give it some additional color, but also some of the smokiness.
So we're basically milling, which might have been done in a lot of different ways in Mesopotamia. One thing, you have mortar and pestle.
Oh yeah, they have like what are called querns that you grind the grain on like this. Yeah.
So actually, and that's really interesting because that's really not dissimilar from the two roller mills that we have inside of this machine right here. So the only thing we're doing is saving ourselves a little bit of elbow grease by using this guy to basically crack open the grain and expose the starches that are in the emmer and the barley and the smoked barley to make sure, of course, that you access those starches to turn them into the sugars that will eventually ferment into beer. So they understood that they needed to crack it open to make sure that they could penetrate into it. We're going to add the grain into a muslin sack right here, which is going to allow it to float in the hot water, converting all those starches into sugars for future fermentation. If everything works hopefully correctly, we'll be able to leave the grain in here, open up the bottom valve right here, and go directly into one of our fermentation vessels. Mm-hmm. So effectively a 2-vessel system, which conforms to some of those vessels that you were studying.
These are my experiments with bapir, which is this key brewing ingredient in Mesopotamia. It's a key brewing ingredient, but it's one that we don't understand perfectly, so there have been different theories about what it might have been. I've been playing around with some different options. What I did is I got sourdough starters from 2 of my colleagues, and then at home over the past few days, I was feeding those starters and really building them up, and then using them to create a series of different barley-based doughs, and then trying different options for drying those doughs out. We just looked at 2 of them under a microscope, and we feel relatively confident that there's a good quantity of healthy yeast cells in there, which suggests that I did not kill off all the yeast when I put it in the oven or in the dehydrator.
All right, so with the bapir in the beer, in both beers now, and the date syrup, we're ready to kind of take our last readings, establish a baseline for gravity or density of sugar and pH. From then, we will track the gravity and the pH as we go forward through the next several weeks to determine how much fermentation has occurred during that time. What we have here, represented in both these fermentation vessels, are both of our beers. After we introduced the bapir equivalent, the sourdough cakes that we had, we set them aside and kind of let them do their thing, which they well did, eating through those sugars and starches and resulting in what we've got in front of us today.
This kind of matches my expectations. I'm happy about it. I wanted it to have a tartness to it, and I think it has even more than I've gotten before.
Honestly, the clarity and the presentation, Like, that makes me actually really happy.
In my book, I draw a line from an ancient Mesopotamian drinking song, and I suggest that we bring it back as a toast today. And it's a toast to the beer goddess Ninkasi. So it's, may Ninkasi live together with you.
May Ninkasi live together with you.